I don't talk about measurements in the video because it's in my paper and I didn't have enough time. And this isn't how I usually make my lunches. I usually make my dinner and I double it and then I just pack the other half for lunch. I made this like especially for the video because, so it took a lot longer.
Okay, first I wash my hands. That's not part of my lunch, obviously, but it's important. And then you'll see I get a yellow squash and I start washing it. You should always wash your veggies. And then I cut it. And then I put it in a cup and I measure it. It was over 1 cup, I think is what I was aiming for, but I knew it would cook down, so I used it anyway. I preheated my oven into 400 degrees. And then I started to oil a pan with olive oil. You could just use like a nonstick spray thing, but this is way more fun. See? Painting. And then I'm going to start to lay out the squash evenly and make sure none of them are like really touching so I can bake them. And then I decided I wanted a carrot too, so I washed that and I peeled it, and then I cut that up, and I'm gonna put it on the pan with the squash. Can you hear my cat purring? She's right next to me. Okay. So there's me doing that. And then after this, I put olive oil all over the squash and the carrots so they get crispy. And then I start seasoning. First I used peg salt, which is just like a salt mixture. It's really good. And then I use nature's seasoning, which is another like seasoning mixture. I don't know what's in it. It's just good. And then I used Old Bay because that's good too. And then I put it in the oven, and I didn't use a recipe for this, so there was no like specific time I cooked it. I just eyeballed it. So, yeah. And then onto fruit. I washed an apple. 1 apple is about a cup of fruit, give or take, so that's just my fruit. And then I started brown rice, which I recommend doing first because rice takes like 40 minutes. I wasn't thinking when I made this. So yeah, I started that, which ended up taking longer than everything else. And then I checked my squash. They weren't done. You can tell when they're done if they look a little bit brown or crispy. And then on to healthy fats. So I picked peanuts. Sometimes I pick peanut butter. You can see the peanut butter up there. I didn't pack that. Yeah, so I packed peanuts. I also eyeballed this, but okay, so now you can see the squash are done. They're a little bit crispy. So I started to flip all of them so you can cook the other side, and then I also flipped the carrots as well, and I seasoned this side again with the same stuff I used before. And I put them back in the oven. And then onto protein. I usually would use black beans and I'd put it in my rice, but we were out, so I used chickpeas instead, just plain, which are still I like them too. Okay, squash are done. So I just put everything in a container. I love doing that, where you like pick it up with the fork. It's really fun. Just saying. Same with the carrots. And then, what did I do next? Oh, and then the rice was done, flash forward in time, like 20 minutes. And then I put the rice on top of my squash and carrots because that's just how I like it. You don't have to do that. And then I put hot sauce and salt on because that's also just what I like. And then you're done. So, yay, that's my balanced lunch for today. Thank you.